Hello and welcome to Triple Tap Gaming, a podcast about games, industry and culture. We are your hosts, Adeeb. That's the fifth week. That's the fifth week in a row we fucked it up.
Did you do that intentionally?
No, I didn't.
You called yourself Adeeb.
That's the fifth week
I'm
in a row.
Izhan.
And I'm Azan, and welcome to the Triple Tap Gaming Podcast. How are you all doing today?
Do you know what we should do? Let's switch roles. So whatever we just said, you have to be.
Okay, great.
Hi guys, I'm Adeeb.
Is that how I talk?
I am Azan. I have beard, and I.
Okay, right. Let's get into the podcast then, shall we? Shall we?
Are we actually recording this? Are we running with this?
No, I'm keeping that shit. Yeah, we're keeping.
Oh, okay. I genuinely thought that this was it. Like this is just
every
us
single fucking second
fucking
of that
around
staying.
for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, every second of that is staying. The fact that we're never gonna get the intro right is now gonna become a part of this show.
Unbelievable. We couldn't even make it to the start. Oh my god.
Why'd you?
Okay.
Name spell it? Sorry. Why'd you? Oh, yeah, it is. Your name spelled Adeeb, but it's wrong.
Have you not noticed? I spell my name wrong on every single
It's
Zoom call.
Adebe.
Yeah, I just spell it which
ADEBE is so much
realize?
funnier.
I
It was just
spell it
messing with my
whichever
head.
way I grew up with, because for some reason primary school teachers and secondary school teachers just can't get ethnic names correctly spelled ever, even though it's literally there in text. Nah, they gotta drop a P in.
Adeeb.
They gotta drop a D in.
Adeeb.
Adeeb,
Adeeb?
Adeem, I've heard Adil, I've heard Abdeeb. I'm like, my
Abdeeb.
name is literally there.
Adeeb.
Abdeeb.
Adeeb.
You know what?
Adeeb.
My favorite was when I was getting a taxi from
I thought you were going to say when I
like
was getting
Maidstone
attacked.
area. I booked a cab.
Uh-huh.
I said my name on the phone and they had me written as dead.
What?
I was like, what? My name's Adeeb. It's like, oh, what do you have me down there? It's like, oh, I had you as dead.
Dead.
I'm like,
Oh my god.
Hello, my name is Dead.
I am dead.
Hello, I am Dead.
I am dead.
Also known as
Do
Adeeb.
you know what? I don't know what I love more, Adeeb,
Yeah.
Adeeb. But I also like the
Adeem.
fact that
I had
the
Hadib once as well. I'm like,
Hadib.
where are you getting
Adeeb.
this?
Adeeb.
Adeeb's not too bad, actually.
I even once got Ellis. I'm like,
Okay,
Where did that
know-
come
I
from?
know how that happened.
Yeah, they
thought my name
just
was
like
Ellis.
an extra chromosome or something at that point.
Yeah, that's white people shit. That's white people shit.
unbelievable.
Mad. Right.
It's two
anyway,
syllables,
so-
by the way. Two.
Yeah, no, that's the craziest part. Adeeb.
Yeah,
All of our names are two syllables, but they just can't handle it.
I know.
Someone
All
called
right,
me Izar.
Izan, let's go.
What's Izar?
Yeah.
Who pronounces an I as I when it's in a name?
Izar.
Yeah,
Izar.
who does that?
Izzer.
Have you
Izzer.
been? Izzer.
Is there?
Mind you, luckily my name's not too complicated.
No, but
So,
people always spell your name wrong. They
Yeah,
can't seem
AZAN.
to do it. It's always
And-
Azan.
I usually do get like so. For example, people I grew up with, they call me Azan.
Why can't they say
Like in
Azan?
Dagenham, but it's just they couldn't get it. But then I don't mind if people call me Azan. That's fine. I ignore it as just like a regional pronunciation.
I just
thing.
cringe a little bit inside, but
You say
I-
that,
I-
but not even Bengalis can get our names right because they always have different pronunciations for everything. I get
Well, the thing is, like,
Odeb,
Yeah,
Adeeb, Adib, all kinds of weirdness. You got Ajan.
and
Ajahn. But that's
Ajahn.
because there's no Z in Bengali.
let's
It's crazy.
let's
isn't
talk
it?
about the craziness that's actually happened this week while we have the chance to, because
Yes, that's a good idea.
a lot happened in the internet in general and in the gaming world as well.
Reddit.
Well, Yeah, Reddit
Reddit,
happened,
yes.
didn't it?
It's
Wild.
not
So
really a
this-
game thing, but it's about GameSpot, and it just somehow got dragged into it
Yeah.
for
GameSpot,
memes.
GameSpot or GameStop?
GameStop. I'm pretty sure GameSpot's reported on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, GameSpot.
Stop.
No, GameStop.
Yeah, stop.
We're just not getting the names today at all. But no. So this is the news, obviously, that GameStop shares skyrocketed
Yes.
as a result of Reddit investors on r-Wall Street Bets
Yep.
basically buying up a bunch of options on GameSpot.
Stop.
GameStop. Now
Yeah,
you fucked me up. On GameStop, but they did that because basically there were Wall Street hedge funds that were going to short on GameStop shares. I betting that the value would go down. So obviously the financial world has gone crazy about this. But I guess the reason we're bringing this up is, I wonder what you guys think about what this means for the gaming industry or for gamers in general. Do you think there's another way that we've made our mark?
I mean, I think the term "gamers rise up" has a brand new meaning to it now.
Yeah, it's crazy actually.
And honestly, I just love the whole like Wall Street versus this insane Reddit hive mind
The internet
that's just constantly
and the
just memeing the shit out of everything. Like you go on BBC News, you go on Sky News, whatever news channel you have, they're talking about this story. They're taking it with full seriousness about this Reddit community, like deep fucking value, discovering all of this, like there's going to be a movie in the works about this whole thing. And then like you go on the actual subreddit where it's all happening and just memes on memes on memes and just
those guys
buzzwords are like to the
I-
moon. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I went on Reddit the other day and I like decided to join Wall Street Bets just to read the post and try to understand what's going. And man, they are so Reddit. They're so Reddit there. They've got like their separate lingo that they use.
Yeah.
Everyone calls each other's retards, but it's like meant to be a loving thing. It's insane. It's so Reddit.
What was the other one? Autists.
Yeah, they're all autists.
None of which will ever like. You can't really report on this as a news story. Let's be honest here. But no, I do give massive credits to the deep fucking value guy. /deep fucking value.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I give props to that whole community because I guess the wider context, this isn't a political podcast, but the political context is the whole, big man versus small man kind of thing, David versus Goliath kind of issue, but also more broadly, like those Wall Street hedge funds were betting that the value of a gaming retailer was going to go down. And I think what this has demonstrated is that despite all the constant arguments and problems that we have in the gaming community, when it decides to come together, it comes together in a big way, and can do so much.
And I think it's a big thing against like hedge fund versus like your standard retail investors, your standard everyday investor. And I think what really points to the fact that it is not really a free market as people like to think. And it's crazy when both left wing and right wing come together on this issue against Wall Street. That's when you know they're really like sticking it to the Wall Street people.
Yeah, it's
crazy
because all these millionaires are super salty about it, right? Because of a thing that they are doing anyways, which is manipulating the stock market for their own benefits, right? To make money. And as soon as a bunch of Reddit virgins band together online to do what they do and take money out of their pockets, they get like really pissy about it. Well, that's literally like what their careers are. Is just like,
and on top of that, they've had extra help with like Robinhood and all these trading apps shutting down buying.
Crazy,
and that's led to lawsuits against Robinhood and all kinds of craziness. And it really shows that there's not really a balance or even playing field in any way.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't seem like there is a free market. And I think it brings in a lot more issues. Like at an initial point, it was just memeing the stock market, memeing Wall Street and saying F you, but also, hey, let's just make some meme stocks and make some money out of this. But then it became a whole thing of people don't care about the money anymore. It's about sending a message to Wall Street.
Yep.
A lot of them are just holding on because they just want to fuck Wall Street. And they just want to fuck over the hedge funds that shorted GameStop.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just that.
They made money from stonks.
I'll tell you what, though, interesting to see how it goes.
The lawsuit thing reminds me of something else that's going on. Have you seen this about Nintendo getting taken to EU courts?
Yes, because
over Joy-Con
they
drift?
Just keep selling these expensive ass controllers that most of them just don't work. They always end up drifting. What
drifting are you talking about? The Nintendo lawyers will say, nah, they just deny.
Yeah.
Because if they do it, it shows that they have to like relaunch the product or recall or.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
This is that's one thing that we don't like about Nintendo, which is let's call it their legal department or their legal pursuing
bullshit,
of things.
Honestly,
that's the one
so
big
much
problem.
bullshit, man.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Corporate world, huh?
That bring. I want to move on though from this from the news,
Yes.
from the boring news, and I want to talk about our topic of the week this week. So we're talking this week about whether or not crossovers are actually lame.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Because that's going to get a lot of people angry. Like, no, you're talking about crossovers are amazing. That is the hype force of everything. Like, crossovers are something that literally generates billions, and, you know, like, Avengers is a crossover.
Yeah.
Why are crossovers lame?
Like,
in the context
they
of video
bring
games?
fans from two different franchises and, like, unite them.
Or more.
And, you unite them. Like, how could that go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. So I guess I'm bringing this up because, you know, we see, for example, a lot of crossovers in gaming. And even though, conceptually it's always a really cool thing, sometimes, and a lot of the times, it turns out really bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't go well. Okay, right. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we start over? I'll start, and we'll start talking about some of the worst crossovers that we've seen.
Oh,
okay.
okay,
So
all
I'll
right,
start
sure,
with an
yeah,
example.
all right.
And I'll start with this one because I'm playing it recently. But Jump Force.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was so hyped for that when the trailers came out. I was like, oh my god, it looks good. The graphics are amazing. There's certain things that just seemed a bit dodgy, but I'll let you carry on with it. But
well, no,
well,
exactly. Yeah, I've been playing it a lot these last couple of days, and basically, here's my conclusion about it. Right, so I know deep down it's a fucking shit game. It's like a really poorly made and designed game. It's really bad. But just the mere fact that I get to control Yugi and Kaiba and beat Naruto with Slifer the Sky Dragon, that alone is the thing that keeps me in it. Right? So it's like I'm still enjoying the game, but because it's just got that
What's
element,
the issue though? With the game.
That's the star power of crossovers.
It's not, but it's not a well-made game. Like, so loading times are so long. It crashes relatively regularly, even though they've had plenty of time to fix that. The whole setup of like, everybody is in one big lobby, and then you go to a counter and you play a mission. It's repetitive. So it's really boring. Like it's not boring gameplay in the sense of like it's still fun to use a lot of these characters who you would never ordinarily get to use, but they can't just rely on that fact for its longevity. So like it's good to play for like a couple of hours, but it's not like a game that I'm just thoroughly enjoying. You know, I play it for maybe 15 minutes at a time just to get that little fix. But but there are loads of crossover games like this. So like another one, and people disagree with me on this, but Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a really fun game.
It was fun. I remember playing it in your house actually, Adeeb, as a kid, and I love Street Fighter in general, especially Street Fighter. But I've always been a Tekken boy, so I was really excited for a Tekken X Street Fighter, but they cancelled that shit because apparently Street Fighter X Tekken didn't do well enough, and I'm just why no. Do it. Like
that so game, good. Similar to Jump Force, just had its own share of controversy. Yeah, especially if you remember the absolute furor over the on-disc DLC fiasco. Oh yeah, where they had the game's roster, and then on top of that game's roster, someone data mined the disc and found out there were like 16 additional fighters already on the disc.
Yeah.
But they wanted to play they're pretty much low-key locked behind a paywall.
Yeah, so that's what.
And I remember buying the game 3 months after it came out, and I bought it for £16. We're talking a £40 game that got dropped to £16 in a couple of months because the valuation of that product went down so much because it was just so full of microtransactions and DLCs, and it wasn't very good. And I think it dropped off quite a bit with the fighting game community as well.
What's crazy? I feel like that's become more acceptable now to have like a day one DLC, have things like holding content back so that you could charge for more for it afterwards.
This is exactly why I stopped playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5 did that, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Except the difference is at least the content wasn't already there. Like.
Yeah. Suppose that's true. Okay, here's another example. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah. Oh, that's like a whole thing that we can talk about with that.
All right. I just want to go back to Jump Force again because I just want to tell you just how awful that game looked. All right. It's literally like, Okay, it's a weeb's like wet dream just to play all these things.
Oh,
But
definitely.
one, it's an anime fighter, and we've all played these games before. If you've ever played Budokai Tenkaichi, if you played Ultimate Ninja Storm,
Yeah.
if you played Pirate
They're
Warriors,
amazing.
it's that weird like third-person action game where you just rush down and mash the circle button or whatever.
Ultimate Ninja Storm is really, really good. I played a lot of that, like recently.
Yeah, but like imagine they just kept making the same game, use that as a template for every single game.
But if they did
Okay,
that, I feel like I'd play Jump Force. But I think there's more reasons.
okay, look, I will defend Naruto games. I'll also defend relatively strongly most Dragon Ball games. I feel like Dragon Ball games in general tend to be quite good. Like, for example, like Fighter Z is really good. Apparently Kakarot, the new one, is really good. Xenoverse is a bit touch and go, but it is a good game. Mm-hmm. But it does suffer from this like quite repetitive structure, which can be problematic.
Yeah.
So I guess the particular issue with Jump Force is that given what it should be able to achieve, it doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It relies too much on that star power thing.
Yeah.
Wait. We've always wanted a really good Shonen Jump crossover
Yeah.
game. Do you remember, Izal, on your like
3DS,
DS, you had
they
that
had
Shonen Jump crossover game, that Jump All Stars,
That Japanese
whatever.
only game, right? I think.
Smash Bros.
That was
Smash
amazing.
Bros.
Yeah.
Clone.
As in, it was amazing, but it felt like a browser game, kind of, to an extent.
It was like
sprites
Super
and
Smash
stuff.
Flash.
Yeah. It was like all
Super
sprites
Smash
and stuff.
Flash.
So when this new Jump Force came out, I was really excited, and then it tanked. Like it got like terrible reviews, like 4s and 5s and 6s sort of thing. And I'm just there like, what could have gone so wrong? Like you have like I said with Naruto, right? It's not the deepest game, but it has very fun combat. It's fun. It has like a huge roster. It has the same like 3D sort of like open combat field. Why couldn't they just like do something like that? It's really easy. Like in Naruto, you have like what? You have the attack button, the chi button, a block button, and a dash button. That's it, right? There's like barely any combos. All of the combos are like circle, 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 a directional input, circle, 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 circle. That's all it was, right? If Jump Force did that, I think it would still be fine. But I think the deeper issues
Like,
were
here's the thing.
it was a
like,
broken
for example,
game, is what I heard.
Yeah, the issue is like, would you pay full price for it? Is always the concern. So, for example, I paid £10 because it was like absurd sale on PlayStation. So for £10, what I got, I'm happy with what I got for £10.
Yeah.
But if I had to pay 50 for that, I would be pissed. Because it's like, this is not worth £50. Just because you put a bunch of anime characters into one game and, give them, all their movesets or whatever, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily
The
a good
visuals
game.
were quite nice as well. Are they not?
Yeah, like it's a visually, well, sometimes it's a visually nice game. Sometimes it's a bit like the main lobby. For example, the fighting is great.
Yeah.
The actual combat is fine. The main lobby where you're walking around, like, it's just like either they're doing too much or they're not doing enough. Like, I'm not sure which way it is. Like walking around the whole like lobby jump area that doesn't appeal to me. The whole story basis doesn't appeal to me.
In fact, it looks a bit like they try to make it a bit too realistic. Like it's anime. Make it look like an anime. Like for example, with the Naruto games again, they went with a more like a brighter anime aesthetic, and it really worked because it's an anime.
They did cel shaded for that. It looked
It
great.
looked amazing, yeah. And like especially like the special moves and stuff, it was a visual spectacle. And what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
It's easier as well. I'm sure it's cheaper to do to an extent.
I think another issue as well with the whole thing is the fact that the characters all look like mannequins. They like in the story when I saw, they were just standing in space,
weird.
moving their mouths and blinking like soullessly. It kind of looks like a bunch of like a kid just got like a bunch of anime action figures and like played out a scene happening, and like you'd see characters flying, but their body wouldn't be moving. They'd just be hovering in space and just moving around.
Yeah.
It makes you think this was not done well at all.
Yeah.
It just seemed
look,
really cheap.
So this thing, so like Jump Force is one example,
Yeah.
and then we're going to get into PlayStation All Stars. But any thoughts on that?
PlayStation All Stars, I think, was just an unfortunate
it has so much
situation.
potential. I was so excited.
The
for that game.
timing for that game was so off.
Why though?
If it came out during the PS4 generation, you'd have had a lot better. Because the thing with crossover games is the crossover games. What makes a crossover game half of it is the roster.
Yeah.
It's the characters that you love, the characters that you want to see represented. Unfortunately, PlayStation All Stars
didn't have many great picks.
didn't have any big A-listing hits. Like you had your standards like Kratos.
Well, Nathan
But that's
Drake.
like the only one that like really stands out in the Sony thing. You had Nathan Drake
Yeah.
again, but you don't like have
Did they
the
have
star
Crash
power. That's, like,
Bandicoot?
No.
they didn't have Crash Bandicoot. They
They're
didn't
really
have
obscure
Cloud.
characters that a lot of people
They
didn't
had
care about.
Heihachi. It had like this indie rep, and they had like a bunch of
Heihachi.
characters again, like that are big in the PlayStation thing, but they weren't that big.
Yeah.
If it came out like I said in the PS4 era, you'd have had Joel, Ellie, any of them, The Last of Us. You'd have had the guys from Horizon Zero Dawn. You'd have had the
Bloodborne's.
character from Bloodborne.
Astral Chain.
You'd have had a massive roster there.
No,
and
they
by
had
then,
a lot of things, yeah. But I don't know why they didn't.
yeah. And
Okay.
also, one thing that really puts it down, because it tried really hard not to be a Smash Bros. Clone, but it was basically a Smash Bros. Clone.
Yeah,
And the
that was
mechanic
issue.
that they had to not make a Smash Bros. Clone
This is
really
health.
pissed me
It was
off.
just health, right?
It's like they didn't
Oh,
have
no,
health.
It wasn't health. Do you know what it was? It was
There wasn't.
repetitive. So you'd have to attack them enough to get a special meter, right?
Yeah.
And you have like a level 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1 being the weakest and the hardest to hit, 2, 3, 4 being like better, like 3 is like the ultimate move that like kills everyone that everyone had, and basically that's the only way you can kill someone is by hitting them with your special. So there's only 3 kill moves in the entire game with each character, and everything in between that was just trying to farm up to that special move. And if you whiffed, then you're at the beginning again. You've like lost the progress.
Yeah, see that's a. There's the thing. It's like the problem. I think maybe part of the problem with All Stars was timing. Like you said, like if it released in the PS4 era, it might have been a little bit better. Maybe they would have learnt their lessons to not just do it. Because what's the point? Just because Smash is a popular format, fundamentally, people at Nintendo made that format. Make a format. That
It
suits
wasn't meant to
PlayStation.
be a fighting game initially. It was meant to be more of a platformer.
Well, Smash.
Right.
But no, PlayStation All Stars.
Okay, yeah.
All Stars, yeah.
PlayStation All Stars was kind of a mishmash of like a platformer, a fighter,
Party
and it kind of
game.
became so muddy they decided let's just scrap the platforming aspect. Let's just make it a fighter.
Yeah.
Well, let's not make it as Smash Bros as possible.
It came out
and you ended up
half-baked,
with that.
like it
And
had like
my issue with
it
it
didn't
is
have half the characters that it could have
Yeah.
had, because they had characters even back then that they could have put in, but it didn't. Like Crash Bandicoot, for example, wasn't in the game completely.
The thing
and there are a lot
is
of shitty
that
characters.
Crash Bandicoot was with Activision, and they tried to get loads of the characters, but the thing is, it was a very small development team,
Yep.
brand new studio called Superbot,
Yeah.
which untested, and a lot of people, like a lot of big companies, were like, okay, the amount of effort that it takes to get a third-party character in Smash Bros.
Yep.
It took like Minecraft Steve 5 years to get in.
Yeah.
Now imagine going into development saying we're working on this game. They probably had loads of characters ready to go in the back burner.
Yeah.
But because Final Fantasy and all the Crash Bandicoot and all that, they were like, we don't know if this game's going to be any good. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was all right.
No,
but it wasn't a success.
fun. We used to play it a lot, like me.
It
and
was
Adeeb
fun.
and
It was
all of our
fun,
friends
but
and
we played it
family.
as like I mentioned before. Mom, can I have Smash Bros? No, we have Smash Bros at home.
Yeah,
Smash
no, we had a
Bros
lot
at
of
home.
fun with Smash Bros at home.
It's PlayStation
Yeah.
All Stars.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun. And look, that's how like certain people got really good at Smash Bros. But it wasn't. It never will live up to Smash Bros.
And
in my
it's
opinion.
not competitive at all. Like Raiden was so
It's not.
unbelievably broken in that game that you can
Uh-huh.
mash into anything and then it will just kill everyone. And then you'd also have like Evil Cole, which is really annoying because he just like attacks you with range and you just can't do shit about that. And a lot of the characters just weren't fun to play as well. They were just like really clunky and shit. Like, did anyone play as Fat
And
Princess? I don't remember.
Nah, and also like the finishes wasn't always worth it. Like you'd build up all this for like the finisher to
Level
not
3
be very
and
good.
then you like miss because
Yeah.
it's not that great. Meanwhile, you
Yeah,
have the
it
level
was
1.
just
Like
horrifically
Raiden's level 1 was
unbalanced.
like a slash that will just destroy you if you're in his horizontal view. That's better than a lot of people's level 3s. It was kind of dumb.
Also, can we talk about some of these characters?
Like
They
what?
didn't get Solid Snake. They got Raiden from Metal
I don't
Gear
mind that.
Re-Rising
I don't mind that,
Vengeance.
and that's because I like.
I don't
Raiden.
mind
I
that,
like Raiden.
but
He was cool.
Solid Snake was the face of PlayStation.
Yeah, not very. Yeah.
You didn't get Dante they got,
You got,
but they
Dante
didn't get
at
the
home.
right Dante.
You
They got
Dante at home.
DMC Dante. You got featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. No, you got featuring Dante from
The DMC,
edgy, emo.
edgy, F word.
Pakaraban Dante.
Can I just put in a word for that DMC?
Yeah,
Which
really
is
good.
that,
It was really fun. I thought it
We
was
mentioned
really
this every episode. Are you going to put in the same exact word saying that game was underrated?
good. Yeah, it was underrated. That shit was good,
DMC.
man.
It was
No,
good.
okay, yeah. Basically, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It definitely now that here's the thing. Hindsight has everything. Now that Devil May Cry 5 is out, that game is complete shit.
Fine.
Right, 100% complete shit. It can go and die. But given that we had been waiting since Devil May Cry 4, it wasn't bad. It was something in between, right? Yeah. Anyway, the point is that you were saying that they didn't get OG Dante and if you imagine they got Dante and Virgil in that game.
That would be sick.
That would have been great. And also, they got Big Daddy as an icon, which is really weird because BioShock came out for a year beforehand on the Xbox. I don't know where they came. It was really cool to get that. Kind of play like Donkey Kong a little bit, minus the grabs. It had that ground.
Oh, he
pound
was
move.
broken as well. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
He had this one move.
It was very heavy
if you
and
were
clunky.
close to him, you would just die. Like you wouldn't die.
Yeah.
You would just walk. You can't get closer because he would pound the ground and the entire ground. It's like Donkey Kong, right? But on a massive scale. You get close to him, he just does that, and then you're like, oh well, fuck me, right? I'm just gonna go fight someone else until he stops. Literally.
My issue with that game is the fact that your attacks don't mean anything.
Yeah.
I wanna, if I hit someone, I want them to feel it.
If you hit them with
with
a crazy
this,
combo,
you're just getting some bubbles that come out of them. It's kind of stupid.
So fine. I guess that makes sense. We know the things that made those games like Jump Force and PlayStation All Stars bad.
Those are fighting games as well. There's a lot of other types of crossovers too. That.
Okay. Any good examples you can think of?
Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions, not quite crossovers, but they tried to get in on that whole toy thing.
Sure.
Obviously, it didn't work out very
well.
Was
that any good though? Was Disney Infinity Plus any good?
I didn't play either of them, but I guess they made their money and bounced. So
Kingdom Hearts.
With a disclaimer for number 3.
Okay, yeah, but still, the whole Kingdom Hearts franchise I haven't played it. Ray would be a great candidate now because he loved that game, but he's not here right now.
Yeah.
I've heard amazing things about it, and it's a Disney Final Fantasy Square Enix crossover, and apparently it was
Dissidia.
an RPG story game.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
we will talk about Dissidia as well. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll tell you what, the thing that, especially, obviously the early ones, but Kingdom Hearts is I think a really good example of how you can have an amazing crossover game that isn't just fighting. Now, generally speaking, I would say that fighting complements crossover the best.
Yeah.
Crossover is complemented by fighting genre the best. But I think it is perfectly possible to get a good crossover game that isn't just a fighting game.
Oh yeah, of
and
course,
it
like
would be
racing
so
games, like
exciting.
Sonic All Stars, and you had the the
Mario Bros.
Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. That was really good.
Oh,
If you guys haven't played it, it's kind of like XCOM, but it's actually it's good fun.
Yeah.
Plus sports, I mean, I'd like to see this more in other areas, but Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. I played the demo for the one on the
It's
Switch.
really dumb, but it's fun, isn't it?
It's so much fun. If
a party
it was
game,
on
isn't it?
sale, I would actually get it.
Yeah.
Imagine playing rugby with Waluigi. That's sick. That's so great. That's what I want to see, man.
Yeah.
Oh, there's I guess I wouldn't count Mario Tennis, but they might have cameos. I'm not sure, but we can't speak about cameos in games. It's not really a crossover, but fighting games also love to do. Soul Calibur, they always bring in Star Wars characters like Yoda, Darth Vader, and Thor. Mortal Kombat does a lot of these actually. Recently, especially, they've been doing a lot of
Mortal
cameo
Kombat
characters.
since Mortal Kombat 9. I remember the first character. A
They
lot
had
of people got
Kratos,
pissed
right?
off at this.
They had Kratos.
They had Kratos, and Xbox had no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
They had Kratos.
the recent one has like what, Terminator. They have Predator.
Terminator, RoboCop, Rambo.
Yeah, how crazy.
And
And this
that's
is even
sick.
gaming
Joker
characters.
from
They just have
DC.
iconic movie people. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
Tell you what though, Injustice is another good example. I guess that's not technically a crossover, but
Oh, and Spawn.
No, but
that's Spawn.
speaking more about a Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe as well. That's another crossover
Yeah.
game that we can mention. That was decent.
The thing is, I
Injustice
will
was
say-
really good. Yeah.
I'll say this, right? This is my view. I think that crossover games used to be really amazing, almost around the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 to prior that kind of era.
Marvel versus Capcom,
Marvel
baby.
versus
Mate,
Capcom, of
I will
course.
stand Marvel vs. Capcom till the day that I die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, like, so the new roster on Ultimate Marvel vs.
I
Capcom
heard it's a
3
bit-
is amazing. Like, there's an
Yeah,
amazing roster.
so good.
But it doesn't, I don't know, it for me, it doesn't have the soul that Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 had. And importantly, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Like, there's like a certain quality about these crossover games that even though it was really simplistic, just made it seem very exciting.
I think that's your 90s nostalgia talking. I think that was
Yeah,
the peak
that
of
is-
the X-Men. It was the peak of the arcade fighting thing.
Yeah.
You know, things were
Yeah, I suppose
really
that's true.
hyped back then. But yeah, no, the roster for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was insane.
Yeah.
For the
So good.
time, it had so many characters,
Imagine.
so many weird off-the-wall characters. I really like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 because it doesn't have just the same characters that you'd expect,
Yeah.
but they went for some really weird ones like Shuma Gorath and Super Skrull and Modok.
Did they bring in Miss Marvel for that one as well?
No, I think Ms. Marvel's too early. This is them like hinting at the MCU because they had a few characters that eventually were made their own MCU films,
Well,
but then they got rid of all the all the non-MCU
speaking
characters
of
in Infinite and just-
MCU, maybe games can ruin crossovers sometimes. Look at the recent Avengers game. Avengers, one of the most profitable
Oh, God.
IPs like on this earth. Amazing. Everyone loves the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Avengers. I recently watched the first Avengers actually like a few days ago, in fact. And then to think, oh wow, imagine if you can play as them. They do it very recently. I think it came out like a few months ago, and it tanked. It was really, really bad. Like really
Do you know what
boring and bland and
The
bad.
thing that I'm realizing over the course of this discussion is that what seems to be very important for crossover type games, or when you do crossovers, is there has to be something about the soul of the games that you're crossing over that retains. So take, for example, a good example is like Kingdom Hearts, right? So Kingdom Hearts, the reason why a lot of people don't like Kingdom Hearts 3 is because it doesn't retain the soul that Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 had. But also, like, there's something about like the fact that there was the magic of Disney, but also the darkness of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And then if you take like X-Men versus Street Fighter or like the early Marvel vs. Capcom games, it retains the arcade feel of those like Street Fighter Capcom type games, whilst bringing in your superhero comics, right? Jump Force, for example, failed because it didn't retain the soul of anime. It made it stylistically completely different. So it seems like games have to maintain the soul of what those games are about in order to make it good.
That's my issue with Infinite as well, because I really like the art style of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because they changed from the anime style, arcade art style, to the comic book style, where they had cell shading, you had the black lines, it looked slick. And even now, even though it came out on PS3, it looks way better than Infinite, because it's just the polish and the art style of Infinite is really soulless.
I've heard.
And
I haven't seen.
not only that, but the characters. The characters is 100% what makes a crossover. And like what really ticked me off, and what ticked a lot of fans off, was one of the community representatives for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite were like, okay, sure, this game doesn't have any of the X-Men. We can go into the reason why they didn't have any of the X-Men characters, but they got rid of all the X-Men characters because they weren't in the Marvel films at the time. They didn't have the rights, so they didn't want to, push any X-Men characters or any Fantastic Four characters.
That's bad, because
And they
Wolverine is so
replaced
much
them
fun
with,
to
like,
play.
like Marvel characters.
Have you played as Wolverine
They-
in any game ever? Wolverine is so much fun to play in any
Yeah,
game.
Wolverine's
Exactly.
amazing to play in
Do you
Marvel
remember
vs.
that
Capcom
Wolverine
games,
Yeah.
game on the PS3? Oh, I've just unlocked a memory. Do
That's
you remember
actually
it?
a really good.
The
yeah.
really violent
was-
one, where he's like
Yeah, that was
throwing...
the Wolverine movie
helicopter-
game based off the Wolverine Origins
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
where the game was really
that
good,
was so
but the film
good.
was
Yeah.
really shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was so much fun to play.
Yeah,
Like,
we should do a podcast episode on movie games at some point.
wait, have we done that?
I mean, we talked-
we did.
I mean,
Game
we
movies.
technically talked about video game movies,
Movie
but not
games.
No,
about
but not
movie
game, like
games.
not
that's a different
movie
yeah,
video
we can
games.
maybe do that. But hey,
Yeah.
a Wolverine needs to be in a Marvel vs. Capcom game for it to be fun.
They
in my
didn't. They didn't
opinion.
include
didn't have
Wolverine,
him.
and they didn't
Yeah,
include
we're talking-
Magneto, who was like
Oh yeah.
a number one pick, or Doctor Doom. And these characters are like staples of the MVC franchise.
Yeah.
And this community manager was like, oh yeah, characters aren't important. A lot of people play these characters because of the functions, you know.
Yep.
This person's got this like wave dash thing and this and that. So we've created a new character that's got that. So people like this character, you know. Ultron can do the same thing.
No one cares.
And people just meme the shit out of that. It got disliked so heavily because,
Yeah.
yes, that's the reason why you play a crossover game, because of the functions.
Yeah, no.
A game that I think does that very well, that like manages to keep the characters, although maybe not so much recently, as Dissidia.
Yeah.
I loved Dissidia Final
PSP.
Fantasy on PSP.
Yeah,
Oh,
PSP,
man.
bro.
It was so good, man. Honestly, like I fell in love with playing as Cloud and Sephiroth and other like Final Fantasy characters like Squall, for example, Tifa. Although,
The way you
don't
said
think
Tifa, you're like, Tifa.
No, I don't think they. Yeah, Tifa. No, I don't think they had Tifa
I
on
know.
Dissidia. But yeah, like so. For like those games were really good, and they maintained like a lot of the soul of that game. But then they released Dissidia on the PS4. It's a free to play one though, so it's a free to play game, and yeah, ruined it.
They
They just
always
ruined
ruin
it.
stuff.
Like I said, it gets soulless when it
Soulless.
gets too corporate. That's what happened with MVCI. That's what happened here. That's what happened with Jump Force.
Yep.
When a game loses what makes it so good, I think it's when it loses touch with the fans and why they love the game and the franchise, and they just think, okay, let's ride off the success and just do this for us and not for the fans. That's when it gets crappy. And I guess that's what happened with Dissidia and
and you know, to be honest, despite the issues that we have with Nintendo, you know, you cannot argue that they do well, with the exception of one particular character we'll talk later on about. But they always keep the fans relatively happy. Like Smash Bros.
Yeah.
You know, we can all agree is probably the best crossover.
The greatest crossover of all time.
Apex crossover.
My
game
personal
of all
favorite fighting
time.
game, and also kinda is the exception to the rule when it comes to, you know how you said, oh, you have to keep like the soul of where it came from. It has so many franchises. It didn't keep any soul of anything. It's its own game, its own unique design.
Yeah, but Smash, that's the thing. Smash
And
is its
it's
own
its own
thing.
beast.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Smash Bros, even Ultimate, you know, it could have easily been the case that Ultimate is not. I mean, some people will say that Melee is better or Brawl is better or whatever. But like,
No one says
Ultimate,
Brawl is better.
There's not a single person who's ever said Brawl's better.
literally no one. But like, Ultimate is amazing, and because it has all those characters, but it keeps at least the soul of what makes Smash amazing.
And
right?
they are very faithful to the characters. If they bring in a character, they will do it justice. Apart from
And they keep
all the Fire
they keep
Emblem
them as
characters. But we don't.
But they keep as well.
Yeah.
Like they keep characters. Like I was like, you know, I'm still relatively new to Smash, but I was shocked to hear that Bayo was in like a previous game and was kept on, or like Mega Man.
I think with Ultimate, they really wanted to go above and beyond. They wanted to make the ultimate Smash game. And what's really sad is I don't think a single Smash game can ever top this insane. No, I don't think any game can top this.
Like, where do they? Where do they go from here?
Because they've taken
3 more characters,
20
3
years
more characters
plus of a roster and like writes 2 characters built upon it, and like in each game since the original up until Smash 4. They would have a slightly different roster with new characters. They kept a few the same, but they always kind of had the rights, right? But in Ultimate, they thought, yeah, fuck it. Do you know what? 20 years of building this amazing repertoire of characters. And they're like, do you know what? We're going to have every single character we've had so far. And
everyone
more,
is here.
And
oh
more,
my God.
Plus DLC. And every single character, barring Byleth, has been hype AF, right?
Thing is, a lot of people now really respect Byleth. Like, they didn't like the character as when they got announced, and I honestly think that was just mistiming.
It's just a representation issues because Fire Emblem has so much representation in that game.
There was so much hype going into that direct because so many people were like, oh my God, it's going to be Dante. It's going to be Dante.
I kind of don't want them to have Dante. I don't want them to have Dante.
Yeah, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry
I don't want Dante anymore. I want someone else. I want something like...
Yeah, Dante's overdone.
Dante's
in Marvel vs. Capcom too.
Yeah, and he's in everything, bro. Like, I can't be asked anymore.
Dante in Marvel vs. Capcom.
I would have like a fresh,
3
interesting
was
character.
Incredible.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I've got a way for us to solve this. How about each of us come up with our own roster, and it doesn't actually have to be for a Smash game, but if Nintendo is listening to this, which they obviously are, I know
mean,
that
yeah.
Reggie
loves
Phil's
us,
Ames
yeah.
is a huge fan of our podcast. You know, if you guys at Nintendo are listening, we're going to provide you with our own rosters, and then you know, hopefully you can make that the function. You know, the focus of your next game.
Feel free to like we won't like you only have to pay us a little bit for it. It's not even like you have to pay us a lot.
What? Maybe a million each. That's nothing compared to how much you'll make off it.
Yeah. Like
we could talk
a
about
few
it.
million
We could talk about
would
it.
be okay each.
We could. You know, we'll get lawyers
we
to
can produce. You know, just
Yeah.
none
So,
of the
okay, yeah.
intellectual property is ours, but we can we can get some money off of it.
I mean, look,
sure.
the idea is ours, right? And ideas are, you know, worth a lot. So, yeah, let's get this going then. Why don't we do our ultimate crossover draft?
That's gonna work.
Right.
All right.
So, this is where we're going to basically come up with our own rosters for the ultimate fighting game. Now, obviously, when we're saying fighting game, we're probably thinking in the Smash region. But hey, if you want to make it kind of like slightly different, I mean, you can imagine how it wants. But I think probably this is going to be like a fighting game roster.
Okay.
And each of us are going to pick up to 10 characters for the starting roster. Okay?
Yep.
We're going to go around a couple of times. But importantly, you cannot choose the same character that another person has chosen. Okay, so it has to be.
So this is
all
our
of our
roster,
rosters.
and we're gonna verse each other in that roster and explain why our roster is better than the others.
Yeah, and then we can decide between the three of us whose roster, barring the fact that we can't vote for our own, we then get to argue. Okay, this is why we think.
You guys told me to get 15 characters. I think we all have 15 each, right?
Yeah.
So we won't use all the characters, will we?
No, but you might have to use like another character in case someone chooses your one.
Okay, highly doubt. But yeah,
You think
highly doubt.
you think you've been unique enough? Yeah.
No, because my friends. So what happens was I didn't. To have a bit of fun, I said, "Hey guys, for the podcast, this is like to my real life friends," and we were like speaking online. I was like,
You have real life friends.
"What?" Yeah. No, but I was like to them, "Hey, listen. Name 15 characters from anything. It can be a game or like whatever, and I'll just make a list out of it." And they just name the most random shit, and like most of them aren't even from games. So I highly doubt that we're gonna cross over.
It's going to be a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Right, it's fine. Okay. So how about this? What I will say is leave your best one, the one that you think is the best. Like, this is the one that you would feature in the trailer.
Okay.
Best. Okay? Leave that one for last, and then we'll go through. So how this works, we'll go 3 characters at a time. So I'm going to start with my draft. And then obviously, once we've done our full rosters, we'll discuss it at the end.
All right. Sure.
Okay? So, in fact, here's what I'm going to
have
do.
my list
I'm
up.
going to share my a screen.
Okay.
Because what we'll do is we will essentially write down the rosters for each person, and then obviously we have to vote on which one we think is the best.
So how
Okay.
big will our roster be at the end of it? You say?
Well, actually, yeah. So I mean, our combined roster is obviously going to be like 30 characters,
Okay.
but the idea is that we have to vote on whose individual roster we think is the best.
Okay.
Okay. So how about I start?
Okay.
Because I'm a legend. Okay. So my first 3 characters for my roster are Aang.
Oh, you already win.
Okay.
Think about Aang.
From the
burning.
From the movie, The Last Airbender, M. Night
M. Night
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan
yeah,
movie.
Aang from the Last Airbender the movie. No, fuck no, I'm not a dickhead. Okay. Captain Levi
Oh, you
from
suck.
Attack on
Oh,
Titan.
you weeb.
And I'm going to go with the final anime character, Saitama or One Punch Man.
Someone's heavily jump forced into this. Jump forced himself.
Oh yeah. I've gone anime. I'm starting with my anime picks. That's what I'll say. Okay.
All right.
Right. So, Adeeb.
All right,
next.
listen. My whole thing is I've already got the 15,
Right.
and I'll give you the first 3, but you can already predict what the next are going to be because mine isn't characters from a separate franchise. One could say they all come from the same field. Just to give you an idea, the idea is, well, I'll give you the name of the game.
Okay.
Battle
Okay,
Bowl.
Don't know what that is.
And they all fight.
Battle Bowl. Okay.
Battle Ball.
Battle Bowl.
That Battle Bowl. Isn't there like a
Champions
American
of Breakfast. Not Breakfast of
Oh my
Champions.
fucking god, he's done
Battle Bowl.
Do you know what he's done?
Champion of
it.
Breakfast.
He said he was going to do it, but he's done it. I didn't think he was going to do it.
And
So what is it?
this game consists of legendary icons
Okay.
that we have always taken for granted, but honestly, they need to take front and center stage in modern media.
Okay, name the fucking characters.
It's like a whole monologue.
All right.
In a world where
Frosty's
Serious.
Tony the Tiger is the first character.
Okay.
So your main is
Then
Smash Bros.
it's
basically.
Coco Pop's monkey, aka Coco the monkey.
Okay.
And then
Battle Bowl.
you got
Sick.
the Fruit Loops Toucan
Oh my god, they have
as
so
the
many.
first initial roster.
They have so many good. Mine pales in comparison, but
Mine is a cereal mascot crossover.
okay. Well, mine's not very. Okay, well, if we're doing it by themes, I'll do themes first then. Seeing as I have. It's so dumb. Okay. I'm just gonna pick 3, I guess. It's just it's like a hodgepodge of characters, but I'm
Okay.
gonna start with Alex Hunter from the FIFA 17 journey mode.
That's really funny.
FIFA 17 as well.
Specifically from
really
FIFA 17.
funny. That is really funny. Whoever picked that fucking props, that's really fucking good.
Do you know what?
I didn't
I'm just gonna
expect
go for it. We're gonna have Heavy from TF2, Team Fortress 2.
Okay, yeah.
This
fine.
literally sounds like something you'd see on Gary's mod
Yep.
as a game.
And we're gonna go Strawberry Shortcake from Strawberry Shortcake.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm confident that I'm not going to cross characters with anyone today.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Just
I'm concerned about Izhar because there might be some character crossover there.
Why?
Okay.
Huh?
Mate,
Okay, right.
it's
Yeah,
so
'cause
miscellaneous.
There's so much crazy shit that's happening in yours. Okay. Okay, so my next 3 characters are more. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna put them together as characters that we've seen before in fighting games, but I want them in my roster. So Akuma, but specifically Street Fighter Alpha.
So
Street
lame.
Fighter,
You picked Akuma of all characters.
Alfia.
Fuck off! I love Akuma. Okay, I love Akuma. All right, Akuma is the reason I play video games.
That's actually
Right.
yeah. Do you know what? Fine. Okay, fine.
What
Okay.
if Akuma was an Echo Fighter in Smash?
You'd made
Okay.
him instantly.
Cloud, yeah. Cloud is my second pick. Even though again, very.
This guy.
This is just the Azan fighting game
This
roster,
is like
isn't it?
if Azan was in
because it's
charge
meant to
of the
represent-
season pass.
It's meant to. Okay, right. Do you know
Nintendo.
what? Just because you said that, my final pick is fucking Yugi. Okay.
You're just writing like your fan fiction at this point.
This is actually this isn't my roster. This is actually my fan fiction. Okay, fine. Yeah, Akuma, Cloud, and Yugi. Okay, because I love those characters. They mean a lot to me in my life. Okay, they're going to my roster.
They're all dudes. Where's the representation?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, excuse me. Tony the Tiger, Coco the Monkey.
Coco the
Interesting-
Monkey.
Look, I've looked into this.
not-
There is no female representation
You
in
looked into
breakfast
Okay, so
cereal
then that is
mascots.
your fault, then, isn't it? So you
It's
chose
not
it
my
with
fault.
a
It's
purpose.
Kellogg's fault. It's Nestle's fault. Get them on the line. They care a lot about this kind of shit. Tell them that they need representation in their
They
breakfast
need female
cereal
representation
mascots.
in fucking cereal. Okay, right, go on,
All
Adeeb.
right.
What's the next 3 Kellogg's characters?
Okay, the next character is kind of like an Ice Climbers, right? Because
Oh, I
there's
know
3
who- I
characters
know
in
this.
one.
Yep.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Oh my god.
Write it down. Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
I love
The
that.
Tricks Rabbit. And Captain Crunch.
Is what I find crazy is there are 2 possibilities here, right?
Yeah.
Possibility 1 is Adeeb just knows all the breakfast cereal characters. He just knows all
Yeah.
of them, which is sad in itself. Or the second possibility is he looked it up, which is also sad.
Oh, I will show you guys. I put effort into my roster. It's been
can't
lingering
wait.
in my mind for years, all right?
Oh
that they
my
need to
God.
make a crossover of the cereal mascots. And look, like these kind of companies aren't above making a video game. I mean, you literally have a Pepsi video game, and everyone knows of
Yeah,
Pepsi
Pepsi.
Man.
So
And
that
if you
is
don't, that means you're born after the year 2010.
that kind of game is the kind of like it's like a free CD game that you get in McDonald's Happy Meal. That's
Love
exactly
that.
what it is. Right, go on, Izal. Let's see what you've got. Yours is the dark horse so far.
Oh, mine's just so random. Okay, we're gonna go for the mystery box teddy bear that you get from the random box in Call of Duty Zombies mode that you get sometimes from rolling the mystery box too much. So that teddy bear.
Okay, that's superbly specific.
We're gonna go for Ushio from Clanad, the anime. I don't know if you've heard Clanad.
How do you spell that?
Ushio. Ushio
From what anime?
from Clanad.
Okay.
What's Clanad?
It's like a slice of life rom-com tragedy anime.
What the way you wrote Clan Ad gives me nightmares, gives
Clan
me
Ad.
PTSD flashbacks of like
Clanad.
watching a YouTube video and then getting like a Clash of Clans
But
ad.
yeah, sure, let's go with Clan Ad. And then we're gonna go for Snoop Dogg from Def Jam Fight for New York in the final boss fight when he wears the suit and the fedora.
Can we talk about some of these insane crossovers as well that have happened in video games? Like there was a game with like Fred Durst. Do you know about this?
No.
No.
Fred
What is that?
Durst
What
was
that?
the guest character in the Fight Club game on PS2.
Wow.
I
Okay.
don't even know who that is.
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just going to say that I will do whatever is possible in my life to not play that game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
you can
right.
beat the shit out of Fred Durst in that game.
Oh wait, that's actually a fair point. Okay.
It's
no,
not a
yeah.
good game though. It got wrecked in the reviews.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that game. Okay, fine. My next three. Okay.
Okay.
I've gone for some pretty serious characters, so I'm going to go for some more fun characters now. Okay. So I'm going to start with. I know this is a basic pick, but it is fun. Deadpool. Deadpool will always fuck shit up. Okay, fine.
Oh my god.
Don't sigh, because the next two are even better.
It's like a weeb's wet dream.
It's
Okay.
like walking through a Comic Con and just seeing all the cosplayers.
It's like walking to Comic Con
Okay.
right now, isn't it?
Fuck off, okay? Because this next
Walking
one,
to Comic
this
Con.
next one, okay? You're fucking laughing now. This next one, you wouldn't see at Comic Con, okay? From the Foo Fighters series, Dave Grohl.
Okay, fine.
Does he
Yeah,
have
yeah.
an
Do you know what
alternative
you
costume
might
where he
see
plays as
him-
the devil? Because I think that needs to happen.
You might see him in
Yep.
Comic Con, maybe.
Yeah.
You
okay, fine.
haven't you already done that? Like you would do that at Comic Con.
I went as Slash.
fine.
Okay, right. And then my final pick is Bernie Sanders.
Wow, I'm so hip. I'm down with the memes.
Listen, I'm the only one who follows. Well, no, actually, that's not true.
Okay, cool. Okay, no. Do you know what? Out of all of these, I think that yours has like a fun roster that I think have good fighting game characters in them. To be fair,
I feel like
That's
you can do all of these in like Smash Bros. As Mii fighters, with the exception of like Yugi.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
And Cloud is in Smash Bros.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, fine. Right, go on. Let's see your next three, Adeeb.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
going all the way to 15, by the way. You guys can whittle it down to 10 or whatever
Sure.
afterwards because I put an effort into mine. All right.
Okay, fine.
This character I did mention it's not a cereal mascot thing. It's called Battle Bowl, Champion of Breakfast, right? And let's be honest, one iconic guy is Larry.
Who's Larry?
Exactly. You might be thinking who Larry is.
Oh
but
my
you ever-
God.
He is the mascot of Quaker Oats. The dude that you see
God.
on Quaker Oats,
Is it actually
his
Larry?
name is Larry.
His name actually Larry.
His name is
You
Larry.
found out
Larry
what his-
of Quaker Oats.
what his fucking name is.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Larry.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
the next time you look at Quaker
Larry.
Oats, you'll be like,
Larry.
alright, that's Larry.
No, I literally have a
Yeah.
box of Quaker Oats downstairs, and
Yeah.
every time I look now, I'm gonna
we
think
should-
of you.
Because all of
You're gonna-
these
yeah.
are sugary cereal
think about-
characters, you know? Like, everyone identifies them as kids or nostalgia. You need a character that
Rough and
represents the M-rated breakfast cereal. You know?
M-rated breakfast cereal.
M-rated.
The
That
stuff
is-
that you have when
that's
you're an
the enduring line.
adult. When you don't have
M-rated
teeth
breakfast
anymore.
cereal.
And you gotta have oats.
Okay, cool.
Fuck
Okay.
me. Okay.
Next, you gotta have the rabbit from Nesquik. The Nesquik rabbit.
Nesquik was lit,
I forgot his name.
Isn't that the Nesquik bunny?
Nesquik bunny, whatever. No, that's the Energizer bunny.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Energizer bunny can make a breakfast. Breakfast?
He can
make
be like
a guest character.
Alternate skin for Nesquik rabbit.
Nesquik rabbit.
Yeah.
And next of all, the Cookie Crisp wolf.
Oh, he's badass. Yo, he's sick.
He would be like your dark character.
Yeah, he'd be
like,
the edgy one.
Kind of the edgy character, like Shadow.
Yeah.
You say
like
this,
Shadow...
but you can pretty much make a Smash Bros mod and just mod every single character in there.
Okay.
Yeah, but remember, we're selling this to Nintendo, so
yeah,
you know we can say to them that no, this is like make a new game for us. This is our roster.
I mean, we don't need to sell it to Nintendo. I'm gonna go directly to the cereal companies, put them in a board meeting. I'm like, listen, head of advertising, head of media, head of whatever. Get this CMOs involved. Be like, all right, I've got the next big plan for you guys as part of your marketing thing. DLC you can buy in cereal boxes.
Really thought
we can get people
this? Like he has thought this through.
Microtransactions in
really
cereal boxes. I'm telling you.
This
gonna go full corporate overlord on this game.
Adeeb actually has a PDF of his business plan put together. Okay, right. Your next three.
We're gonna start with a Michelin Man. He would be the tank of the game. He'd have like the highest health pool, of course. Okay, yeah.
I feel like because he's a massive balloon, would he not also be like extremely weighty and like floaty?
Yeah, he'd be like King Dedede.
DDD.
Yeah, DDD.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be that. Then we're gonna pivot right and go and put in the Teletubbies baby son. The son from Teletubbies.
The son.
Yeah.
Okay, not the Teletubbies. The son.
Have you seen the picture of the son? She's like a full-grown adult. She has a baby of her own now.
Oh
it's
god,
mad.
that's crazy. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's go for a Cristiano Ronaldo. Yep. A Cristiano Ronaldo.
Another FIFA rep. Why is there so many FIFA reps?
No, he didn't even say FIFA. He just said Cristiano
Ronaldo. Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo from FIFA 16. I'm kidding. No.
Yeah, okay.
FIFA 16.
Oh my fuck! Your fucking roster is so fucking
it's
stupid.
So dumb.
It is the
it's
stupidest
so dumb.
shit I've ever seen. It's the fact. Do you know what? It's the fact that you went Michelin Man, Teletubbies baby son, and then you just went Cristiano Ronaldo.
The
fuck? The fuck is going on? Okay, right.
It's Cristiano Ronaldo of Cristiano Ronaldo perfume brand fame.
Okay.
Fuck me. Okay. Fine. We're down to our final characters of the roster.
Yeah.
I know you, Adeeb, actually, you said you wanted to do
Should we do DLC as well, Pack? So our last 5 can be DLC.
Okay, yeah. So why don't we take the whole thing?
We'll
do the whole list.
I don't think
we'll do the whole thing.
Overlap.
We want to get rid of this whole list. Fine. So how about this? The final character is the 10th character. That's your best character. Yeah. That's like your, that's your packaging leader. That's your trailer leader. That's like your Mario for your Smash Bros. That is your leader. Okay. So for my final pick for the main roster of my Ultimate Fighting game is Waluigi.
You went all caps on Waluigi.
He's finally in a fucking game. He deserves it. He deserves to have a fucking game.
He does.
So if Nintendo aren't going to put him in a game, I will.
I believe that is a fantastic representative. However, Adeeb is probably going to come out with some crazy shit. So
not really. You can already expect what I'm going to come out with anyway. Yeah. And honestly, my roster's going to keep going. I think I've got like.
But choose your best one.
Two good characters left.
Who's your leader? Yeah, who's like? Because I'm surprised you've got Tony the Tiger, Coco the Monkey. Those are
okay. I went
big
with
names.
number one. I went with the top 3 in my opinion.
Okay.
Most iconic. But how could I forget the rooster from Cornflakes?
Oh, that's legendary, bro.
Yo,
that's a legacy character, bro.
That's actually good. That's what I must say.
Yo, he would fuck.
But then I've still got like a few star picks and a few other extra characters that might make it in as DLC. One character, like, why is he not in the game? What the hell? Wait, and then he's in as a DLC character.
So,
like a
my 10th character.
Your ultimate, your leader.
And to be honest,
this fucking nonsense.
deserves to be a leader of this ragtag group of a nonchalant individuals or whatever they are. And to be honest, you guys could probably see this one coming from a mile away. If you guys know me, you guys know me, you know me. But it's going to be Tifa from the Final Fantasy VII remake in the sporty attire dialogue option. Thank you. Tifa will be on the front packaging, adverts, everything. And it will sell millions.
This is
millions.
Why none of us. This is why we had to start a podcast about the games industry, because not a single one of us would make it in the fucking games industry.
Bro,
I would produce
yourselves. I'm very proud of my roster.
I would produce the same ideas that everybody's already come up with. Adeeb would produce absurd ideas that no one's going to buy, and Izzo
it's
would
a
come
great
up with ideas
idea.
That
Everyone
make any
loves
sense.
it. Don't deny it. You want to see my game.
Don't deny you want to see Tifa just like on every advert ever.
This is awful. Okay, right, go on then. Let's do DLC. Let's get DLC out of the way. Fine. So 5 characters DLC. Yep. Given what we've had, my DLC just isn't as exciting now. Okay, right.
Mine is very exciting.
Okay, my DLC, I'll get it out of the way. I've got Light Yagami.
Well, you're actually the biggest.
Isn't that just broken as hell? Just gonna be insta kill every time.
No, but he has to know their full name.
Yeah. So basically, what happens is if you were to play Light, your character's name doesn't show up on the screen, but as he basically, you know how like Jotaro uses his stand to fight for him. He would use his Angel of Death of Shinigami, Ryuk, to fight for him. And the more damage that he does, more of the character's name comes across the screen. And then when the full name character is revealed, that's his ultimate meter. And then he can kill you off.
Sick. All right.
That's a cool idea, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so that, Light Yagami. Then we've got, who else? Nero from DMC5.
Of course. But there's no Dante.
Nero,
cool.
because Dante and Virgil have been in games, but Nero's never been in one, especially Nero from DMC4.
And DMC5 Nero is
He'd
really
be
cool
sick.
as well.
Yeah, and like he'd be so good. He'd be so cool, right? I would then put Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Okay.
Of course.
That'd
Because
be
you're
cool, I think.
Pakistani, got to have the Pakistani representation.
Got to have the representation. I would include another character from the. Well, actually, okay. No, my final 2 would be packaged together in the DLC as terms of the final 5 characters.
Okay. That's
so
fine.
they're 2 characters that come together, but this is Tetsuo and Akira.
Ah, okay. Cool.
And they would, I think they'd be interesting. Basically, what I've got a different game premise in mind. But we can talk about that later. But yeah, so those would be my final DLC characters.
Adeeb?
Who's Akira?
Adeeb?
Isn't Akira like the old guy that got blown up ages ago?
Well, Akira, when he gets reformed, is technically a
the
boy.
old school, like when he's all like final boss mode and he's all like this little kid.
Yeah, and I mean in
Rex
the manga as well, it goes like way deeper as well. Yeah, I mean it'd be I think there'd be some interesting stuff you could do with that.
That
Anyway,
manga
right,
is
so
thick.
Yeah, I bet it's really good.
Final 5.
Okay, quick fire round. I will show you the way. These are also superstar picks.
Yep.
I wouldn't even have them as DLC. I just have them as extended unlockable characters.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You got old school, yeah?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, nice,
Yep,
like it.
Yep. Okay, so first one, the Lucky Charms Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Lucky the Leprechaun. Of course. This is a game produced in the UK. You got to have some UK reps. So the Honey Monster from Sugar Puffs.
Oh,
Very good.
I love that.
That's good. Yeah.
Honey Puffs are legendary.
The Honey Nut Cheerios bee, if you recall, there was a bee mascot.
Yeah, fine.
Mascots are like slowly being like taken away from a lot of cereals now. I realized.
All right. Here's a cereal I've never had in my life because I've always ignored it, but the Space Astro Boy looking dude from Ricicles.
Ricicles.
Oh, okay, yeah, fine.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah,
we never buy
yes.
this one. I don't. It's like
It's like the Frosties of.
It's like Rice Krispies but covered in sugar.
Yeah, I love that.
And the final pick is the Crave mascot. Now.
That's just a Crave, no?
No. Have you not seen the ads for Crave where like it's got like a mouth? And it's just like this like. Yeah. So one of those.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
Jesus. Okay, Crave Monster. Okay,
He's like the new character, the new pick.
Yeah.
I'd actually swap him out for like the Quaker Oats guy, Larry, because you wouldn't expect Larry in a game like this. Because you think, oh, it's a cereal brand. But that is my roster.
DLC. I actually left my more obscure and slightly lamer ones for last, so it's going to be a lame DLC pack. This is going to be a cash grab. All right, this is going to be a cash grab DLC. Number 1 is John Wick. Oh wow, John Wick.
Oh wow, well, of course you picked John Wick.
Oh, original.
Okay, Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
What? Say that again?
Loki from the MCU.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I like how
he's
you
not in the
spelled
game, is
Loki
he?
there.
So yeah, screw you.
Fine. Okay.
Noddy. Why did you guys? Noddy.
Okay, Noddy. Yeah, fine.
We have Nymphora from Heroes of New Earth. You guys have no idea. Okay, Nymphora is a support character in a Dota ripoff, where she throws butterflies at people and she heals your team. Okay, cool. Anyways.
Okay.
Then we have Among Us, brown character, the brown crewmate.
Brown crewmate specifically.
Brown crewmate. Is that 5?
Why
Is
the
that
brown
5?
one?
1, 2, 3. I don't know.
That's your 5. Yeah, that's your 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1,
Do I have one
2,
more?
3, 4,
No,
5.
no,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's your
My
DLC.
lame DLC.
Okay, right. So, that's our rosters then.
Yep.
Wow. Okay,
No
so now
overlap
the
in
final thing we have to do is vote for the ones that we think are the best.
Okay.
Okay.
So I am going to.
So we pick 3, right? 1 from each.
No, well, we each pick one person's roster, and that's the roster that gets taken over.
Oh, what? Okay. So we just choose is the best roster.
That's the best roster. Well, that's the best roster. That's like we're voting on the best roster. But
Okay.
obviously, in an ideal world, the triple tap ultimate smash game is going to have this entire selection. But we're going to vote for our favorite roster.
Okay.
So my favorite roster, despite all the work he's put into it, is going to be Izhar's.
Really? Wow.
Just because it's so fucking stupid.
Yo, I'll be honest. So far, of course, we haven't finished yet. But have I lost to one of these games yet?
Okay, just because you said that,
No,
vote for
I can't
Adeeb
do
now.
that.
Yeah, I can. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
No, fuck
okay,
you.
yeah,
No,
fine.
no, you
Yeah,
can't do
I can do what I
that.
want.
What do you mean you can
Okay,
do?
Adeeb, who do you
What
vote
do
for?
you? No, you vote for me.
Okay.
Can
Adeeb,
you
who
not
do you
vote for your own? Because I vote for my own.
No, you can't vote for your own. I knew you'd say that. You
Okay.
can't vote for your own.
Well, if we're playing dirty,
Thing is,
okay, fine.
I think like Izhar's one just for the just ridiculousness of it all, for the meme factor. Then I've got to say,
Yep.
which means
despite that,
Okay, and then Izhar, who would you vote for?
either I can make Adeeb win, or I can deadlock it and pick his hands now, because apparently we're playing dirty, aren't we? So,
Go on.
2 minutes ago, Izhar would have picked Adeeb's, right? Because I just think it's just such an absurd game, and there's actually a lot of colorful characters in there, right?
mate, can I just show you this picture? I put
Okay,
together.
Yeah, let's have a look at. we're gonna stop sharing screen. Go on,
Just-
Adeeb,
just-
could you share your screen?
Yeah, go for it.
You've disabled screen share because you're an absolute authoritarian on this video.
He
call.
really is, isn't he?
Okay, go on.
Can't
Okay.
believe you did that
Look-
to me. Cunt.
Look at these characters. Would you not want to play a video game with these characters?
I see nothing.
Look at that. That is my roster.
I'm looking at a blank screen.
Look at that shit.
I don't know about you.
I think Zoom has prevented us from being able to see this.
Also, I haven't
can you see it
been
now?
able to see Adeeb's camera for like the last
Yeah, we
half
haven't been able to
an
see you
hour.
for
You know
quite a while now, Adeeb.
Amazing.
We've just been talking to a
mention
black box. Yeah,
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
'cause
fine,
as long as
whatever.
you have it.
But I tell you what, we're gonna put in the video version, exclusive for the video viewers. We're gonna put Adeeb's copy of the roster.
It's
at
literally
the
just
end
the
of our
cereal
video.
boxes in a thing.
Okay,
It's not that special, but-
so regardless, right? So if I pick Adeeb's, which I would, he would win because you're a cunt, Azan. But okay, in theory, if I picked yours, Azan, how would we rule out other times?
Izhar, listen. I came up with the name of my own game. I've already got it set out.
Yes, but I
Battle
have
Bowl
no.
I also
champion
I
of
also
breakfast.
yeah no I am
on.
also confidently changing mine to like genuinely
Oh.
because Adeeb's is the most thought out.
Okay, fine.
I would only pick yours just because it's the funniest.
I have
and
Noddy.
also it's the.
It's my,
I have Noddy, and that's
Mate,
the end
no,
of our
Tifa.
podcast.
You have Noddy, but I've
You
got
know
I
what,
haven't
we're
even
ending it
played
there.
it. Okay, fine. I
That,
think
we're ending it there. We're ending it there. The
Bro,
end. Thank you
imagine
so much for
looking
listening
at like
to our
adverts.
podcast.
All you see is Tifa in sporty attire.
Please tune in. And yeah, that was Triple Tap Gaming. We'll
I
see you
have
next time.
Noddy. I have Noddy.